All right, so we're back. Thank you guys so much for watching. We have another question and answer episode. So if you tuned into our channel today hoping to watch some cleaning, unfortunately this is just going to be another Q&A. Angela and I did this last weekend and went really well. We went through a lot of questions. It was a little longer of a show than we anticipated. So today we're a lot less questions. We should be able to make it through faster, but again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. So first, we'll just jump right in, unless you had something you wanted to. Okay. So the first question came from Greg, and he said, what is the hardest thing about working with your spouse?
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yeah, you can go first.
Determining who's in charge, I would say. We're both very stubborn, maybe, or in the way of what we think is best.
We both think we know what's the better way.
And it's not always agreeable. In the past, it was much harder. Now I think it's easier. But when we first started working together, like in the van, it was much more difficult. Because that's when we were transitioning to Dan relieving some of the responsibility of the business onto other people, not just Dan's in charge. Dan takes care of everything. So him relinquishing some of that responsibility, I think, was kind of tough for him. And yeah, we had some heated fellowship in the van a number of times.
That's a code word for fighting.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, the hardest thing about working, well, I agree with everything Angela said for sure. Definitely that's up there toward the top. Another thing though that I struggle with, and it's just when to turn off work. So it feels like sometimes where we don't stop working, like the work talk goes right on through to every other aspect of our life. Like when we're on date night, oftentimes we find ourselves, without even meaning to, talking about work. When we're doing everything, all of a sudden work is part of what we're doing. But
sometimes, like right when he walks in the door, I have to tell him things about work.
Well, she feels like she has to tell me things.
It needs to be done right then and there.
Anyway, next is, how do you pay yourselves? And we are W-2 employees.
I get a paycheck now.
Yeah, and she didn't for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah, I just used a credit card and, hey, Dan, pay this.
And the business would pay that. So, well, as long as it was a justifiable business expense. But yeah, now we're W-2 employees. Probably been that way for
3 or 4 years now, maybe.
I think a little longer than that.
You have.
I've been a W-2 employee for, probably 6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
maybe
so I would say maybe about 4 or 5 for me.
So, and then so we're salary as well. So we take the same amount. All the other employees right now are hourly, but we have had salary employees in the past. My father, who worked with us for many years, he was salary, and then Thomas Hoffman, who owns an A1 Carpet Care franchise out in Weatherford, Texas, he was also a salaried employee. Next questions come from CCB, and first I just want to say at the end of CCB's questions, he or she, and I'm not sure exactly, maybe we'll get a better sign of gender later on, but at the end it says, this is such a great idea. I can't wait to hear back from y'all. If I'm not already subscribed, I'm hooked now. And so I will say on that we had a really good time making the last week's Q&A video, and it's kind of fun to do something other than just produce content, which is cleaning content. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
And you like to talk.
I love to talk. So, and Angela doesn't necessarily. So CCB says, what are some of the benefits for consumers using local family companies over big brands?
Well, usually we personally know our customers. That too.
So yeah, I guess one of the benefits would be, from our perspective, is we get to build a relationship with our clients, which is pretty awesome. But in what you're asking is, what are the benefits for consumers using a local family company over big brands? I think it's the same thing could be said on the other side. So you as a consumer have the opportunity to build a relationship with your carpet cleaner, your floor cleaner, your upholstery cleaner. Other benefits, I guess, would be with a local family-owned carpet cleaning company. I feel like the quality is going to be much higher than it will be with a much larger, and that's not always the case, but in a lot of cases, the larger companies, you're going to see a dip in the quality. They have a much higher turnover a lot of times, so yeah, you may or may not get the good quality with that. Anything else you can think of?
Not really.
Maybe that you're able to support somebody, another family, a local family that that your kids may go to school with, that you drive on the same road with. So it's kind of a neat thing to know that you're supporting someone who is basically living in your community just like you are.
And just in our specific business, like we give back to the community, so it's a way of helping us give back, kind of.
Yeah, supporting us, and we support our local community. By supporting us, you're supporting your local community. So what are some of and then the next question, hopefully that helped clarify that. And if not, this is another cool thing about doing these, is as we answer these questions, hopefully people that watch, maybe they have more questions of their own by watching. So please just put them in the comment section below. Angela and I mentioned last week, we would love to continue on and do one of these a week or one a month or however often need be. But if you guys come up with any other questions at all, nothing's off limits. Some things might be off limits for her. Nothing's off limits for me, but we'll be happy to discuss them. So what are some of the warning signs of companies that splash and dash?
I don't know. How would you answer that one?
I think I really can't without answering the next question. I mean, for me, if I didn't know any better, I would say the warning signs for a splash and dash cleaner might be the reviews. They don't have good reviews. And just to clarify for those that are watching that maybe don't know what the term splash and dash is, it's something I've referenced in several of my other videos, but maybe this is the first time watching. Our carpet cleaning process has many steps involved, starting with inspection and then commercial vacuuming, the application of a pre-spray or preconditioner, the agitation of that preconditioner, the hot water extraction or steam cleaning, and in a lot of cases grooming or fiber protection and then grooming. But that wasn't always the case for the way we cleaned. For the majority of the time that I've been in the industry, I operated our company as a splash and dash operation. What's commonly referred to as a splash and dash operation, where we offer no inspection, we don't pre-vacuum. We basically put down a soap-free detergent or a preconditioner, and then we immediately extract.
It's basically how quickly can they get out of your house?
Yeah, it's a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of service. How fast can you get in and get out?
And pay me. Yeah,
So
on to the next one.
On to the next one. So splash and dash, you spray it down, you suck it up, and you leave. So we changed over to a much more thorough, correct way of cleaning several years ago, and have subsequently had to raise our rates because we offer a lot more value with the service, and of course it takes a lot more time to deliver that value.
Better results.
Much better results. So yeah, before I would say check the reviews, but we had decent reviews. We had very good reviews operating as a splash and dash, and I think mainly because you get what you pay for. And so our clients, although they weren't paying nearly what they are now, they were getting good value for what they were paying for. We were delivering. It was cheaper, but they were getting a cheaper cleaning. So, but I think the next question is key, where you say, what kinds of questions should we be asking when booking, and what are the responses that we should expect? So that, I think, is where you can determine what when you're dealing with a splash and dash operation versus the other type. So what are some of the questions you can think of?
What is your process? I mean,
what is your cleaning process? So when you call up, inquire about their cleaning process. What else?
Do you charge by the room, square footage? I mean, I don't know. I guess that doesn't really matter with splash and dash.
Yeah, I mean, some splash and dash companies do charge square foot, but I think it's more common to charge by the rooms. A lot of times you can just tell by the pricing, but I think Angela nailed it. That's probably the best question to ask would be, what is your cleaning process? And then just shut up and listen. They'll tell you right up front. If they have a process, they'll let you know. Like if you called us and asked about our cleaning process, Angela explains it to every single phone call, whether they ask or not. But she walks them through like what we do, starting off with commercial vacuuming, because a lot of companies won't do that. So I think that's a good one. Do you commercially vacuum?
Let's say that's another one. Yeah.
That's another good one. But another good way is ask around and get a referral. It's very easy nowadays to get online and check reviews, but it's also easy if you're on social media, particularly Facebook. We love the resale groups in our local community. We get referred all the time by people. We'll post on there, hey, who knows a good carpet cleaner? And then their list of friends, a lot of times that live in their vicinity, will go on and say, oh, I've used ServiceMaster, I've used Massey's Chem Dry, I really like advanced carpet cleaning, I really like competition carpet cleaning, and we get referred, pretty regularly in that.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's another great way to do it is your friends and family probably aren't going to be referring a splash and dash operation, but maybe, because we got referred when we were running that way too. So what kind of questions should we, okay, so we went over that. What's another good question to ask would be, do you offer a free in-home estimate? Because some companies do. Some companies like ours we used to try to talk you out of that, and now we try to talk you into that. So I think that speaks volumes.
To get the most accurate price, we need to see it first. And a lot of people understand that. Like, I can't just give you a price over the phone without actually seeing it in person.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly what Angela says, is in order to provide you with the most accurate price, it's best to do a free in-home estimate. But yeah, a lot of companies won't offer. I know I used to get irritated when somebody would ask me, do you do estimates? And I would think, yeah, I'm doing one right now. Tell me what you got. But now, again, it's better. And so that's another good way to determine what type of operation you're dealing with. Usually a splash and dash company, they're not really inclined to spend the time or energy or effort to deliver an in-home estimate for free. They want to just do it on the phone and get it done. Do you all have aspirations of branching out nationally?
I don't.
Angela doesn't. Nationally, I don't know. That's pretty ambitious, although recently I have shifted. I know a few years ago I reached a point where I didn't really care if we grew at all. We were at the point, and still are, where we were generating enough revenue to live happily ever after. I mean, we were making enough to where we didn't really want for anything. And so then at that point, I guess it's either grow and help other people generate more money and a job, provide jobs to more people. You can provide more value. And I didn't really want to do that up until recently. And now I'd say maybe not nationally, but I do have more aspirations of growing our company and our brand and our presence even outside of our local area.
Okay.
I'm not trying to take over Georgia or anything crazy, not overnight anyway, but I did mention that we had a franchise out in Texas, and that is Thomas Hoffman owns A1 Carpet Care. The other day he texted me and actually said that somebody had accused him of stealing our logo.
Really? I didn't hear that.
I forgot to tell you. But yeah, anyway, so he worked with us for several years and then went out to Texas and worked for another franchise and decided he wanted to open his own A1 Carpet Care. So he's our flagship franchise, and although we don't have a financial tie binding him to pay us a certain amount of his revenue every month, moving forward, we may consider something like that. I know I've got a friend of mine, Robert Atlas, who does something similar, but it's more in the repair and cleaning. So he does a lot of restretching and carpet repair. He's out in Arizona, and he's set up something where he can help people get started using his system, and I think it's definitely a possibility. I'm not ruling it out. I'm open-minded. What's your vision for the future?
How far in the future?
Well, let's talk 5 years. What's your
5 years.
What's your 5 year?
I think we'll still be doing this in 5 years.
10 year.
10 years. I hope to be able to travel.
Travel more in 10
Let's
years.
see, our kids will be. Marilyn will be out of the house.
Maybe.
She'll be 19.
Not everybody moves out when they're 14.
Warren will be. True. Warren will be 16. So hopefully a little more freedom for me and you to be able to relax a little bit more. I would say. I want to go on more vacations. I want to travel. That's what I want to do.
I wouldn't mind traveling. I would like to have a home in Colorado where I'm from, and maybe a business there. I don't know. I would like to set up multiple streams of income, maybe through other businesses, and be able to work more remotely. Right now, I feel pretty bound to the business. So I would maybe like to continue to grow our company here, and then eventually hire someone to replace Angela and myself, and still not only sustain but be able to grow and sustain the company here, and then maybe get a place in on the beach in Florida as well.
Okay.
And then, you know, in lieu of traveling, maybe we could spend part of the year in each different place. But I do have ambitious goals business-wise to continue to, you know, not just carpet cleaning, but maybe just grow. Like, I could see myself, I would like to speak and maybe write books and maybe travel and maybe speak to large groups of people. And I don't know if that would be coaching or training or teaching, but something in the capacity beyond just, carpet cleaning. So that's for me, I think.
I just want to shop and take naps.
Shop and take naps. That'd be fun too, yeah. If you could do anything other than run your business, what would it be?
I don't.
Shop and take naps.
I guess.
Yeah, I kind of answered that on the last question too, I guess. So that's pretty much it.
I don't really want to do anything else.
Other than shop and take naps.
Yeah, like I don't have any other career in mind for myself or anything.
Oh, okay. But I thought you wanted to go to hairdresser school or something.
Cosmetology school. It's not a hairdresser school.
Same
but
thing, whatever.
In another life, I might have done that instead.
I think that's more or less what that question was asking. But regardless. Okay, so that's it for the questions. But now we'll go to story time real briefly, because I think it's a good story to share about how Angela got to be running the company. Because for a long time, I ran the company, and I tried to do it all. Answer the phones, be at almost every job, write the schedules. Anyway, it became to a point where I had a mental breakdown and had to go away for a while. And then I got out and had another one.
Let's see, about 5 days, the first one. No, 4 days, the first one. We were gone for 4 days. And the phone rang while he was gone, so.
Not only did the phone ring, Angela took over, not by choice, but I was
the business still had
up.
to go on. I couldn't call him because he was in a facility, so I couldn't call him for questions or anything like that. And I had been around him enough with him answering the phones that I had some kind of idea of what to say and what to do and how to schedule things. I did that while he was gone because no one else was going to do that, and I had to help the team that we had at the time continue to run. So I took over for those 5 days.
Yep, and then I got out, and my buddy Nathan Hawley came from Canada.
Same day.
And he visited us. We went to the class that we went to to learn how to dye carpets and do bleach spot repair. Colorful carpets, and we went to that class down in Jacksonville for a few days, and then about a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, something like that, I had another mental breakdown, had to go away again.
It's like a week and a half, yeah. And this time you're gone for a week.
And the whole time I was in between those two breakdowns. Angela maintained the phone and maintained writing the schedules, and I really didn't do a whole lot of work, I don't think.
No, me and you did a couple jobs.
Okay.
Because we had an event at Chick-fil-A. We had to
I remember that. That's been a couple years too.
Yeah, and it was something.
I think most owner operators struggle with control issues.
Yeah, his feelings were a little hurt when he got back and he realized we didn't fall apart. The business didn't
No.
fall apart.
No, my
It was
feelings
like,
weren't hurt.
yeah.
No.
And it was like, oh,
It's not true.
you guys didn't need me
Not true.
the
at
first
all.
time.
I mean, honestly, the phones, that was like one of my biggest fears. Relinquishing answering the phone was one of my biggest fears. I really felt like I had to be the one to answer the phone. I got to the point where I was comfortable letting other people that we had trained represent us out into the field. And I felt like our clients, for the most part, understood, and there's probably several of them watching, but understood when I couldn't be at every single
Yeah.
job. But when they called me, I really felt like they were calling me, when in reality, what I've come to find out is most of the time, although they don't mind hearing my voice and finding out how I'm doing, what they're really calling is they're calling to try to get their carpets cleaned, which Angela can do, I think, a better job because she's not having to do 1,000 other things.
Not at first, because he micromanaged every single phone call that I did when you were around.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I hung up that phone, you had notes.
Yeah.
You had taken mental notes to
Yep.
let me know.
I critiqued and criticized, and
It helped out in the long run.
Not really. It put a huge strain on our relationship, and we had many fights. Probably half a dozen pretty heated fellowships, or is what you call it.
Because I'm the type of that will be like, screw it then, I'm done. Like we'll build an entertainment center or something. If we start fighting, I'm like, screw it, I'm done. You can do it yourself, and I'll walk away.
But she uses a much worse verbiage. Anyway, it got bad, and I learned that, just like with our team, if our technicians are doing a job 80% or 85% as good as I would do it, that's way good enough. And there's 1,000 ways to do it right. I used to think that there's really only one right way to answer the phone, but everybody has their own style. Same with cleaning. I used to think if it's not getting done exactly the way I would do it, it's not getting the carpet clean, but that's not true. There are steps that I feel like you can't skip over, but there's not necessarily one correct way to do that step.
So now I try to find a balance with the phone, so I don't have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, I'm trying to encourage her to let me take over the phone so that she can not have it. Because for 10 years straight, I basically had the responsibility of answering all the phone calls, and that's a lot. As the business grew, in the beginning with one van, it wasn't nearly as bad. There's a couple phone calls a day, but when you're doing 15, 20 calls a day, every day,
yeah,
it's
emails and messages and text messages, and dealing with the team at the same time, it can be overwhelming. But now it's like, okay, if we're eating dinner or something and the phone rings, and it's not like
an
a flood
emergency.
or something, a water, I'm gonna let it go to voicemail and I'll call you back when I get a chance. But trying to set out that balance. If you call 9 o'clock at night, I'm probably not going to answer unless it's an emergency.
So leave a message.
Yes, please leave a message and we will get back to you.
Well, the other thing we try to do, and I think we do a really good job of it, is we try to communicate with our clients the same way that they communicate with us.
Yeah.
We have clients that prefer to text, send us Facebook messages, email. Some of them prefer to call. But whichever means of communication our clients reach out to us, we try to do that same method back.
Yeah, because I understand. I'd much rather email or text or message somebody than pick up the phone.
And I would much rather pick up the phone and just call them. So everybody's different. Yeah. And when I try to get her to make phone call to somebody, she doesn't particularly care for that. And vice versa, when she tries to encourage me to email, I'm like, can I please just pick up the phone and call them? So we get that. But that's another, it is a lot more stress because instead of just dealing with the incoming questions and inquiries and all that, one method, you're dealing with a multitude of different mediums by which you have to coordinate.
And I take pride in responding as soon as possible. If you send me an email and a message, I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I won't let it.
Well, and because I think that's one of the many reasons that our company has done well over the years is we've tried to be really responsive to when our customers need us or want us. We try to be there.
Yeah.
Almost to a fault, hence the breakdown. But
yeah. He's much better now.
Much better, yeah.
Yeah, learned a lot.
It's nice too because unfortunately it wasn't nice the way it happened, but
It was scary.
I mean it was terrible. But at least now I feel like we're handling it together. Whereas before I don't feel like Angela. She was very, very supportive, but I think I wasn't allowing her to take on any part of very, very little.
I was cleaning. I was on a van cleaning. I was like one of the technicians, but that's the only thing I did.
And I needed more help with more stuff, and still do,
Yeah.
probably. But anyway, that sums up all the questions. So appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed it or got anything out of it, please give us a thumbs up, and then what else? Comment below. Oh yeah, encourage you to think of another question you may have, because we would love to continue to do this. But in order to do it, we're going to need more questions. So leave a comment below with some questions for us. Personal, business, whatever you'd like to know, and we will, hopefully do another one of these soon. And then, of course, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel really is more about cleaning, showing off our work, our process, all the different things we specialize in. But this is just another thing we've started to do. So
yeah, click on the logo to subscribe.
oh yeah, click on the logo to subscribe, and then probably should be a video popping up too. You can watch that.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for watching.